My name is Kyla and I'm the content specialist for InUni Global. Now I'm very excited to introduce two wonderful speakers for today. Sorry, can we move to the next slide, please? So they can see the beautiful people that I'm going to introduce. So, so it's my pleasure to introduce Olivia Villarreal, the Director of Graduate Admissions at Concordia University, Chicago. With extensive experience in higher education, Olivia is known for her leadership, strong communication skills, and commitment to student success. We're very excited to have her with us today to share more insights about Concordia University and the admissions process. Lovely to have you here, Olivia. How are you today?
Thank you. Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining us today. Very excited to hear from you. All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome. All right. So next up, we have Monica Sanchez, the Director of International Student Recruitment for InUni USA Partner Institutions. With over 12 years of experience in the educational sector, she brings a wealth of knowledge in leading educational projects. Her expertise lies in navigating the development of education brands and identifying strategic marketing opportunities across the globe. It's always a delight to see you, Monica. How are you today?
Thank you, Carla. I'm very happy, and I want to take a moment to thank Olivia for making some room in her agenda and join us in this webinar. I know that our NeoNL partners as well are going to be happy to join the session and learn more about CEC. So thank you, Olivia, for being here.
No problem. Thanks for the invite, Monica.
Thank you so much, ladies. So, before we dive in, just a few housekeeping notes to everyone. This session is being recorded, just a reminder, and you will receive a link to the recording shortly after. Also, we strongly encourage you to ask questions throughout the webinar. So please use the Q&A box below on your screen provided in the webinar interface to submit your questions. If you do have any questions, even as early as now, you may do so. So, our speakers will do their best to answer as many questions as possible during the session. If there are any questions that cannot be answered for today, we will just follow up with you via email afterwards. So, now, of course, we'll get started. Now, I'm going to hand over the spotlight to Olivia to discuss more about how everything started.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so just a few kind of background history about Concordia, Chicago. When we started this university many moons ago, it was just a teacher seminary, just to train Lutheran educators on schools and things like that. So actually the main part of the building that my office is in is where Concordia started. It grew tremendously from there. Now we offer undergraduate programs, master's, and doctoral degrees. In 1979, we were officially named Concordia University Chicago, where it offered broader academic offerings. And now we serve more than 5,000 students today. We are known for our academic excellence, development, and maintaining always our Lutheran heritage. Concordia University Chicago is located actually in River Forest, Illinois. It's about 10 miles from downtown. It's a beautiful little city suburb outside of Chicago. It has many tree-lined campus locations. It's very safe village. There's plenty of buses and taxis and Ubers and all that kind of stuff to take you right downtown to Chicago. Many of our students actually do reside in the residence halls around here. And then we also do have many apartments, condos, things like that, that many students do venture out and like to go to. We do have many of, gyms and things like that on campus, library, all of those type of things that are also offered.
Thank you very much, Olivia. That does really sound amazing, doesn't it? I just really imagine studying in a place where you can step out for a refreshing morning or afternoon walk whenever you just need a break. Just like in the movies, that's what I see. So, where else can you get that kind of experience? Now, I'm very sure some of you already in our audience are starting to think about, more the programs you might want to explore and also the requirements. So, to tell us more about that, let me hand it over to Monica to explain everything.
Oh, thank you, Kyla. So, at CUC, we offer a wide range of more than 50 in-person degrees options, as you can see on the screen. All of them are delivered from beautiful River Falls campus, as you all know. We have four vibrant colleges. The first one is business. Then we have education, of course, as you can see here, health science and technology, and also theology, arts, and humanities, as you see them. So four colleges. Among all of them, we have bachelors of arts and of course bachelors of sciences, depending of course on what type of program you are choosing. So in areas of specifically of the business college, we have accounting, we have marketing, management, entrepreneurship, healthcare management, sports management, and also innovative programs that are in high demand and are very well paid in Chicago area or in all about the USA as well, such as business intelligence and analytics, for example. Then in the College of Education, I love this college because it prepares future teachers at all levels, from early childhood and elementary, middle, secondary education. And also, as you can see, includes programs such as special education, music, visual arts, Spanish education, and many more. I think like if you are thinking about a program in the College of Education, you're gonna find it. It's very broad and prepares very well our future teachers. Then in the College of Health and Science and Technology, we offer degrees of biology, chemistry, health sciences, computer science, criminal justice, psychology, sociology, or social work, which is very broad as well. And these are strong foundations for careers in healthcare and human services. So it's very good if you're thinking on going into that path, or even if you want to expand into human services area, which is very strong. And I know that in many universities it's limited, but at CUC we have many programs and many different ways to reach out into different pathways. And then if you are or your students are more interested in going into College of Theology, Arts and Humanities, programs and majors that you're going to find are arts, music, theater, English, history, philosophy, classical liberal arts, and even Plus, which is programs in Christian educations that I know have a lot of demand, for example, in Southeast Asia for students that are located in that way. And between 2023 and 2024, I know Olivia is going to agree on this, that we have been seeing a growth in programs such as psychology, for example, in which the students are looking for options. In the past, there was a lot of myths that you cannot do anything related to health services or healthcare or even psychology in other country that is not your origin country, right? But definitely at CUC, you have that opportunity. You have, of course, the education programs that have been, I'm seeing a lot of demand, such as elementary education that are very versatile, and it's in the United States. The demand of this type of professionals is very big among, of course, to biology and healthcare programs as well. So if you want to understand exactly what the demand or what are the best career paths, I would totally recommend to go into those sectors, and CUC it's perfect for that. Then, of course, we offer graduate programs. It's important when we see graduate programs to think about students, or if you're a student interested in to go into a graduate, you need to have finished your undergrad degree, which is very important. So after you finish, even though if you're studying CUC, you can go and graduate, or if you have finished your undergraduate degree in your own country of origin, you can definitely apply. So in CUC, we have business and technology programs, basically, such as MBA and our STEM designated Master of Science in Computer Science, which is, I would say, the most demanded as of now. Um, the MBA at Concordia is designed for, I would say, professionals who want to lead, innovate, and solve real world challenges, because it's a very hands-on and practical program. It's also based across many industries, not only for people that wants to develop more in business, but actually entrepreneurs or someone that needs that tools in order to be an entrepreneur, for example. It's offered in 7 career focused specializations, such as digital marketing. Digital marketing concentrates with topics such as SEO, content strategy, campaign analytics, social media, which is, of course, very high demanded, and prepares for roles in brand management, marketing strategy, and e-commerce, which right now also are very in demand worldwide. Then in terms of finance, it's more for financial analysts, controllers, investors, track and explores corporate finance, of course, portfolio management, and financial decision making, which is also very important for entrepreneurs or high management positions in companies. In terms of the healthcare management, I really love this specialization because transforms any other profile in business to get into healthcare. I remember in pandemic times in which there was a high demand, not only in producers, but also the people that was managing these businesses and providing, the services and supplies all around the world. So this career, I think, like after pandemics, has been growing and growing because of this need. It's also one of those that you're gonna earn good amount of money, and at the same time, it's giving you many different ends. It can be in cosmetologists, it can be hospital, can be health systems, it can be biotech companies, you name it. So it's a very versatile program as well, specialization. Then we have leadership and change management, which is one of the newest that we have launched in CUC. It's ideal for executives of HR, basically, and tracks development and develops the soft of strategic skills needed to do lead transformation in any organization. This is very good for more leaders in HR, as I mentioned, or maybe even in anything that has to do with launching a company of consultancy that has to do with HR. Then accounting, of course, builds a deep expertise and financial reporting, auditing, taxation. For the people that loves numbers, this is the perfect designation, of course. And one thing that you need to know is that CPA certification, it's very powerful in the USA. So if you're an accountant in your country of origin, and then you pursue to have your CPA certification, it's gonna give you many opportunities in the USA to become a accountant. And also in the USA, there's opportunities to be even accountant for normal citizens or also for companies. So there's a lot of services that you can give around this area. Sports management, of course, right now as event planning, covers also marketing, recreation industries, not only sports as it is, but all the industry around it and businesses. Project management, which is the last that we're going to be setting up this set of specializations. Remember, it's a practical framework like Agile, like Six Sigma, and Tracks Perfect for professionals leading complex projects in tech, also for entrepreneurs. And project management is ideal for also if you are not coming from a business degree, from your past studies, it can actually help you to get into business from very first steps and getting, we're having professionals from construction, healthcare, and many other tech, for example, as well, backgrounds. So this is perfect if you want to give a twist in terms of entering into the business world. Then for the Master of Science in Computer Science, which is a STEM program, which we love STEM because its designation means that you're going to have an extended postgraduate work authorization OPT opportunity, more than double than other designations. And also, of course, includes a strong knowledge and development in terms of programming, algorithms, machine learning, database, system architecture, and many others. So if you come from a strong background from computer science or systems from your origin of country, this is the perfect program. It's a very high demanded program. So we select our candidates in a very strict basis, but we will try our best, of course, into secure a seat if you are very determined and you come with a strong knowledge on computer science and systems from your bachelor, of course. Now we have here our entry requirements. In this slide, as you can see, it's what the requirements look like, but also some tips for students that come from these countries. Just to name a few: Nigeria, United Kingdom, Canada, Fiji. You see all the list of countries here. These students may be exempt from English requirement depending on the country. So if you come from all of this, send us an email and we would love to look at your profile, as well as many students that, for example, come from English education, meaning that you have studied in the US already, for example, or you're a transfer. We can see at your profile in order to be exempted for English uh, proficiency test. But if you don't come from any of those, of course, we have options for you. We have the option to do the IELTS with a 72 of a score as a minimum. We have an IELTS opportunity as well, a 6.0. Duolingo, which is easy, fast, and flexible, so you can do it as well and send our scores. It would be around 95, or the password test at 6.0. Then we also accept PTE. I know that many have stopped using it. For many, it's their ride or die, but PTE score is 61 that we're looking for. So these are all opportunities for you if you want to apply for graduate programs, and these are the English requirements. If you need more assistance, or you have a special case, of course we can revise it. So let us know, and when you send your profile, let us know what those specific circumstances are. We will love to take that case. In terms of admissions documents, as you can see, for undergraduate, you need to have your high school diploma transcripts complete, please, in order for us to check on those. Why is it so important to have the complete transcript? I know that many have been asking, oh, can we apply during my last year of studies? The truth behind it is because we give a scholarship, which I'm going to be talking more in the next slide, based on your transcript and your academic excellence. So that's why we want to see your whole history and transcript, just to help you succeed with a scholarship. That I'm going to be touching base exactly on percentages in the next slide. Then copy of passport, which is easy. Remember, passports need to be valid. We need to have an active passport. Then if you are transferring, because we accept transfer students from the USA and you are thinking of moving to CUC, we will need your official USA college transcript and your financials, that these apply to transfer students and non-transfer students, showing for the first year tuition fees of $53,626. If you need more assistance, again, in understanding exactly how financials should look like, what they should contain, please let us know. We will be happy to guide you depending on your country of origin. Then regarding graduates, it's pretty similar, as you can see here. So it's undergraduate transcripts again, so you are eligible for academic excellence scholarships that we have at CUC. Bachelor degree, a copy of the actual diploma, copy of passport, again, valid passport. If you're a transfer student, again, copy of your US college transcript, and the financials showing on the first year depends on what type of program are you looking for. If you are going into the computer science program, which is Master of Science, it's 44,812 for financials, and then for the MBAs, it's 40,438. So
All
now I
right.
will to Kyla, because I know that we are going to be discussing some tips in order to get your admissions faster at CUC. Olivia, and the uni admissions team, we work together as fast as we can, give answers, clarifications as well, and we try it to be a joyful process, I would say. So I know, Kyla, that you are going to give us some tips in order to make things move fast, especially now that we're around the corner. I would say even for spring, time goes very fast.
That's really true. That's really true. Although, thank you so much for that, Monica. Very well explained. And now that everyone has gotten a glimpse of, what life could look like while studying in CUC, let's talk about something uh, just as important, how to actually get there. But before that, just a quick reminder to everyone: please drop your questions on the Q&A box below, so Monica and Olivia can answer it as we go on. So you can just, click drop your questions and then they will answer. All right, sorry. So moving on, we know that the admissions process can feel a bit overwhelming. So to make it easier, Olivia actually will walk you through practical tips that can help you speed things up and improve your chances of getting admitted.
Yes. So one of the big first tips is always apply early. As soon as you're thinking about applying to CUC, just go online and do our online application. Just as soon as you can do that, the faster we can get you in. You never know if there may be some glitches with, maybe a transcript or an evaluation or things like that that you need to get done. So the sooner that you do it, the sooner that we can get you in for the spring or, whatever time frame that you're thinking of. And also, the sooner that you have all of your documents and prepare all of those, the faster me and my team can review those documents so that we can get you admitted into the program. Like Monica was saying, with the English proficiency, the GPA requirements, always just make sure that you have, all of those requirements done so that you can get in and get into the program that you want, whether it's undergrad or graduate. And always, always stay in touch with your admission counselor. That is someone that's very important to your admission process. They can help you speed the process along a lot faster than you may anticipate. Whether it is by email or chats or however that you may, just make sure that you're in constant communication with them. They will let you know where you are in the process if you're missing any sort of documents, financials, English language proficiency test, whatever the document is that is missing from your file, they will make sure that you're aware of that so that you can get it in as fast as possible. So some of the documents that are needed for your application, like Monica was saying, make sure that your passport is valid. Sometimes it may be valid right now, but let's say you're applying for next summer, next fall, and maybe your passport expires during that time. Just make sure that everything is valid and up to date. For your English language proficiency, if you are from one of those countries, we can get those, waived for you. But if not, make sure that you take one of those Duolingo or TOEFL or IELTS test, and and maybe your first score isn't that great. There's always another time that you can take it and retake it, and and hopefully everything works out into your favor. For the financial documents, yes, make sure that those are all up to date, valid, within the certain time frame that you need it, so that all of our international office can get you all the documents that you need for the visa process, I-20, all of those things. For the academic credentials, it's very important to make sure that everything is up to date, that you've graduated. Nothing is in like, well, I will graduate next year. Okay, well, make sure that, we have everything that is up to date, with all of the graduation timeframes and all of that kind of stuff.
And if I can add something on that, Olivia, I think like also translations are important because we need them to be translated in English. Remember that's a big part of even accreditations for university, like files need to be all in order. So that's why CUC is very strict. Sometimes it feels like we're being strict because we want to make lives of students impossible, which is not
exactly.
We want to actually have quality education and quality institutions for you guys. So that's why we're very strict on how the files are constructed. So I just want to say that.
Exactly. Yeah, and I know that sometimes those evaluations to translate from a different language to English sometimes takes a little while. So yeah, making sure that you have enough time to get all of those documents in is very important.
Yeah.
So as
And
far as tuition fees, it is for the entire cost for the 4 years for the undergraduate program. It is 145,720. For the 2 years for computer science, it is just under 35,000, so it is 34,992,000. For the MBA program for the 2 years, it is $24,024. Depending on the specializations that you choose, sometimes it could take between 2 to 3 years, depending on when those specialization classes are being offered. So it's a good thing to work with your academic advisor once you're here on campus, to make sure that if you want to stay within those 2 years, 2 to 2.5 years, you always are in constant communication with them to just make sure that you finish your specialization in the time frame that you want. And for the tuition costs and things like that, it can range between $26,206 to $28,392, just depending on the specialization that you choose, time frame, all of those kind of things. Monica, did you want to talk about the scholarship?
Yes, of course. So, for students that are intending to apply for undergraduate, we do have scholarships that are around $8,000 per year for the duration of the 4 years. So I think CUC it's a great opportunity for students interested in doing a full year career. It's very generous and good, solid scholarship, especially for Chicago area, I would say. So you can definitely check on that scholarship. Then we have also merit scholarships for postgraduate. Our postgraduate faculties, as you saw, are very strong, specifically in business and computer science. Computer science is one of those programs that spots are going very fast. So if you're thinking on computer science in the United States, it doesn't need to be only in CUC, you need to apply, right? And be solid on your profile. So we offer scholarship even for that specific program, and it goes around the 10 up to 20%, again, depending on your academic excellence. So that's why we recommend to have your transcript complete, so we can do a complete evaluation, and then you get benefited with a good amount of scholarships. So it goes from 10% up to 20%. And one important thing is like at CUC, we do not have a application fee. So you can definitely send your application through GOS Gateway and going through the complete process. As you go in the admissions process, you're also going to be having a lot of support from our team, including one conversation or one interview, that we can call it that way, in order to understand exactly what are your focuses, your desires, your dream career. So our team can verify that and also help you and guide you through the process. Sometimes in those interviews, we catch that maybe you are thinking on an MBA, I would say, for example, on finance, but maybe your career path is more, I will say, I don't know, in digital marketing, for example, or we can definitely guide you through those sessions. Also, it's a great opportunity for you to practice, because after that interview, you're gonna be having your big interview at the embassy. So it's very good that you keep practicing and understanding exactly why you want to study that career and be solid about it. So that's two tips that I'm going to be mentioning about like how the admission process looks like.
So if you
Great.
do, yep. So if you do want to stay on campus, that is a great option. We do have a few different halls that are available to you all to stay here right on Concordia's campus. So Concordia Hall is actually our newest residence hall. It was built a few years ago. It's almost like a mini apartment in there. You have, a few different bedrooms. There's usually 2 bedrooms, I have seen ones that are just one single, but it is fully furnished. You don't have to bring a bed or a couch or anything like that. You know, there's a kitchenette with a microwave and a sink and a refrigerator. So it's like, you know, there's a whole living room area. It's very nice, and like I said, it's very new. It's only been around for a few years. There is two restrooms in there. So, and you usually do have someone else like staying on the other side. So it's kind of nice because you can have a roommate, and usually they're in, you know, the same master's program or something like that with you. We do have David's Hall. It is the men's residence hall. And it also is like a suite style living with a lounge, and there's 3 floors that make up that building. Then we also have Jonathan Hall, that is our women's residence hall. Same kind of style, you know, suite style with, you know, a couple bedrooms and a living area. These halls are actually super close to our football field and our track field. So it's nice. You know, you can enjoy a football game right outside, you know, and or a track meet or things like that. It's also really close to the Christopher Center, where a lot of our master's programs are held, the class-wise. So you are just steps away from going to class, and then you can hurry back to your residence hall. Then we also have Cone, Lindemann, and Krause Hall. These halls are closer to like the library or the Addison Hall, which is kind of the original part of CUC. Cone and Lindemann are all for the freshmen, so straight incoming new students. These would be great for undergrad, you know, really, you know, immersing yourself with the culture and things like that of Concordia. You usually have a residence director who leads it. And they do fun events too throughout the year. I know that they, during Christmas time, they do fun, you know, decorating contests and things like that in their halls. And it's nice too, because if you like the library, you know, for studying and things like that, you're just steps away from there. And it's nice too, because if you do have classes in Addison, it's all within, you're not having to walk outside, especially in those cold winter months. You know, you can just stay all inside of your building and not have to leave if you don't want to, because we also in that building have the library cafe, where you can get some few snacks, sandwiches, drinks, chips, salads, all of those type of neat little treats. And then there's also Mary Martha and Chisholm Hall. These halls are actually near the KCC, which is where our dining hall is. So these are kind of, and they're nice because it's centrally located near the KCC, and then near, actually just steps away from the library and some of the other rooms that you would have classes in for that. So it's nice to have that all kind of centrally located. And then when you walk outside, you're kind of right there in the middle of campus. To the right, you know, you see our beautiful chapel. And then to the left, you see our beautiful buildings for classes and things like that.
Olivia, I want to ask you because we have a question, which is if it's compulsory to stay on campus if you are UG or PG. So I don't know if you can help us.
Yeah, no, it is not. You do not have to stay on campus if you don't want to. If you want to have an apartment off campus, that is totally fine.
That's great. And actually, I will. That's personal recommendation. If you think that this is not your case, please disregard. But normally, especially for UGs, undergraduate, and if it's your very first time in the United States, I would totally recommend to have the apartments at campus and campus experience.
Yeah.
It changes the whole experience, making friends, having,
Mhm.
even just to plan up for your second or third year, it guides you into the
Mhm.
process, understanding how where to buy, how it's the best neighborhood, where you want to live, to who you want to living, if you're a friend or maybe a family member that's around the area, or you want to live very far or very near, if you love public transportation or not. Like all those things are discovered in the first year, especially in UG. So I would totally recommend to go.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, definitely, especially being an undergrad, I would definitely recommend living on campus. Just especially if this is your first time out of the country, you're in a brand new place, you can just kind of relax because, you're here to study, but you're also here to just immerse in the culture and, meet new people and things like that. So it's definitely a nice experience as an undergrad. Grads, we typically don't see them a lot that they choose to live on campus. There are, usually a select few that do want to, just because this is their first time in the US and just kind of, learning about Chicago and just the different things like Monica was saying, transportation, all of those type of things. Where do you grocery shop or where do you like to go and eat, all of that is so different, so just kind of having it nice here on campus to live is a great option. I'm actually a MBA grad of CUC, and when I was a grad that wasn't an option, it was only for undergrads. So I wanted to actually live on campus because I just wanted the easy kind of living kind of lifestyle for my couple years of grad school. But now it is an option. So it is kind of just nice to just know that you can go to our dining hall and eat, whatever meals that you choose to. And our dining hall is awesome. It has many, many different styles of eating. And our chef is always coming up with the best new dinner options and things like that. So it's definitely a nice option for you all. Now pricing for these halls, like I said, the Cone, Kraus, Lindemann, Mary Martha, David, Jonathan Hall, those are some of our older halls. So that cost is a little bit different than Truzum and Concordia Hall. So for Cone, Kraus, Lindemann, Mary Martha, David, Jonathan is 32,000 or $3,275 dollars per semester. For Truzum, it's $3,525 per semester. And for Concordia Hall, depending if you get a single room or a double, it's for the single, it's $4,525 per semester. And for the double, it's $4,275 per semester. Sometimes there are single room add-ons for different situations. This is where you would talk to our housing department, where they can set everything up for you, and those are $650 for an add-on, and that just gets added on to your total. But like I said, you definitely would talk to our housing department, And I would say you can start this process after you're accepted into the program. You know, but if you have any questions or anything like that, we can always get you in contact with our housing department for that. Like I was talking about for our dining hall, we have a few different options for you. I think our nicest option is the unlimited access to the Crossroads Dining Hall. It also includes 10 guest meals. So if you have a friend or a family member visiting you, you can use one of those guest meals for them to come eat with you in the dining hall. And then there's also $200 of Cougar Cash that is added. And this is $2,840 per semester. You would work with our business services office on getting this added to your ID card so that when you walk in, all you have to do is swipe your ID card and you can get access into the dining hall. There is breakfast, lunch, and dinner that is available at certain times of the day. Now, if you don't want full access to the dining hall, maybe you're just you know, you're living off campus, you're only here just a few times a week. There is different options where you can get 225 meals per semester or 125 meals per semester options with Cougar Cash included in that. And the Cougar Cash you can use at that library cafe that I was talking about earlier, where you could get sandwiches, salads, and drinks and things like that. And then those prices for the 225 meals is 2,480 per semester, and for the 125 meals per semester, it's 2,380 per semester. So great options, great food with pops and drinks and coffees, water, and all of that things like that are included as well.
Thank you so much, Olivia. That's definitely making me hungry right now. So at least, yeah. So at least, you know, everyone has an idea of how much the tuition costs, the meal plans, the accommodation, and they could definitely plan ahead on budgeting and, you know, picture themselves living in CUC. And again, as Monica and Olivia mentioned earlier, since you have the opportunity of staying on campus, why not? It's recommended. So you could also meet new people, you know, create your own network, and really experience everything CUC has to offer. So it's very exciting, and we do hope to get more students on board. So now that you've got a bigger picture and a better idea of everything, I'm sure you still have plenty of questions, and this is the perfect time to ask and answer them. So let's move on to our Q&A session. Let's go to the very first one. So, is there a mandatory source of income that before getting in? Is there a mandatory source of income?
I
Any
think
understand?
I think they mean the financial documents, right? Yes. So basically, you can apply to CUC to the program of your choice, but remember that in order for us to expedite I-20, we will need to have your financials attached to it, right? So definitely you can proceed, but we will need the financials. I think in the slides, if you team, if we can help us to put on the amount so our attendees can see them. It's depending if you are going for UG, and for postgraduate depends if you go for the Master of Science or if you go for the MBA. The amounts are different.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much. Since we're already in the financial topic, there's another question, Monica. So, do you accept a certificate of deposit or educational loan?
I mean, yeah, but remember that I think Olivia can give us more details, but what we need, and not only CUC, but actually the USI institutions need in order to proceed and give the I-20s, that these funds are actually not frozen, let's put it that way, so that the students can actually recur and take the money out at any time through the process. So that's why deposits and education loans are completely acceptable, only if the students are able to actually do transactions with the money, meaning that they are not in frozen accounts or accounts that cannot be touched in a certain amount of time. But Olivia, I don't know if you want to give any advice regarding how the financials should look more
Yeah,
healthy.
I would say, yeah, like those are totally fine as long as you can access them. If you can't access that money, then it's kind of a mute point. You want to make sure that that our international office and the embassy or wherever you're trying to get your I-20 or things like that, they can see this money is going to be available for you for school. So just making sure that the however you're getting that money, it's accessible so that you can pay for school or any extracurricular things that you're going to be doing while you're here.
All right, thank you for answering the question. There's another one here, from Ryan. So he said, I have recently cleared my BBA with 60% overall grade in year 2025. Am I eligible for Concordia University?
In that sense, Ryan, what I would recommend is to do the application, because while we do, it's an evaluation. What we need to understand exactly is what that 60% is translated into a GPA in the United States. So I see another comment that you come from a francophone kind of country. So that means that you can be all in Europe, North Africa, or even in Canada, right? So we need to understand exactly where you're coming from, do the evaluation of your documents, and understand if you are going to be eligible due to GPA. But I know that we can definitely help you on advising on your documents and your profile, and we will do our best in order to help you to get accepted into CUC if documents allow. So yes, definitely we can help.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Monica. So, there is this last question, I think. Could you please provide your assistance in understanding how much time does it generally take for the issuance of I-20 after submission? Oh, sorry, L-20.
So I think TATs are normally depending also on the completion of documents, and if all the documents are complete and they have no objections, let's put it that way. So that means that, for example, if your documents are already cleared, are accepted, we do not have any observations of them. Normally the TAT should be around, like I would say, 5 up to 7 business days, which is the normal TAT that we have for every institution in the United States. But if, for example, you send your documents and then we need to revise on any of them, of course, it's going to take that TAT after that revision and acceptance of those documents. So normally it depends if the documents are already okay, they are passing through the profile, and then the admissions from CUC, it's accepting them. If not, it would take a little bit more. But remember always to take the time after the last document is accepted, then you can start seeing the TAT, I would say. There's also a special days. I want to actually use this platform to say that, for example, you're sending your application on a Friday, let's put it that way, or a Saturday. Remember that we have some days that are not business days. So of course, those days are going to be taken in the TAT, and it's going to take a little bit more from the point of view of the student. But of course, it's regarding that the office is actually open. And if we have, for example, we recently had the 4th of July, or we had December sometimes, in which the campus may be, working even during holidays or not. So those are special, holidays that you got to take in consideration. But normally, that's how it looks like. So if you are ready to send your application and you want to know more, or if you want our team that it's regionally based, to check on your documents and give you advice, so they proceed very fast and you can do the corrections before even sending them, let us know. We're happy to help, so they progress super fast and you can get your I-20 in the proper amount of time, and it goes in accordance to your plans.
Thank you very much, Monica. We do have another question here. Do you accept MOI?
Normally, yes. It is important for us also to check on those certificates exactly on what type of board are you sending them. That's a very, very important. For example, if you're coming from India and what type of NAC institution you're sending them, those are like some of the requirements. But normally we should. But let us check on those documents depending case by case, and we can definitely have a strong yes on that depending on the profile.
Lovely. Thank you so much for answering the question. Another one here. So, is it mandatory to have a WES evaluation?
So, if you already have done so, feel free to send your WAS evaluation. That's lovely. If not, I know our admissions team can guide you through the process of doing that, that accreditation of your degree through in uni. So, our depending, exactly, if it is already evaluated and you have paid the process, or if you don't have, we can definitely help you on it. And in uni, it's very knowledgeable about these accreditations, and we have, internal agreements with CUC, so it can proceed fast and it's going to be perfectly revised and accredited. That's why we are always having, not a specific or solid word regarding the GPAs that you have all around, because as this person is mentioning, we need this evaluation and to convert those GPA into what the USA system is. So feel free to send documents and we're going to help you through that process if needed.
Thank you. And I think that we're off to our last question here. So, do you accept distance education bachelor's degree for a master's degree?
I can jump on that. I don't know if Olivia will have any comments on this, but I understand as long as it is a complete degree and you have a complete transcripts and it is on the GPA and you have the English proficiency. I mean, if all the requirements of admissions are met, I think that we do not have any problems on the acceptance of the program, right, Olivia? I don't know if you have any other advice.
Yeah, as long as, once we do the evaluation, that's the big thing. It's not really the where it was taught or things like that, like or how it was taught. I know a lot of times during the pandemic, a lot of institutions went to online learning, so it was just different than um, going into a classroom and things like that. So just doing those evaluations and things like that, that's what really tells us, making sure that it's a bachelor's degree for a master's program.
Lovely. Thank you so much for answering the question, Olivia. So sorry, there's one more. We're gonna take the last question. There's questions popping in. So do CUC provide up to 100% of scholarship? If yes, what should be the criteria for UG and PG students, like undergraduate and postgraduate students?
Well, during uni, I understand that we do not have up to 100% of the scholarship yet, but we do have scholarships for undergraduate students that are, year by year, which is very good. It's 8,000 per year, up to 8,000, and it's guaranteed for the whole program for 3 years. So that's a scholarship that we have available right now. That I can like be sure and solid about the answer. I don't know, Olivia, if you have any thoughts around this.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have anything that is 100% of an entire program, whether it is undergrad or grad. But and uni does provide very generous scholarships that can help with your time here at Concordia.
Thank you so much, ladies, for answering the question. So, yeah, I think that concludes our session for today. A lot of the questions have been answered, actually. So, thank you all so much for your inquiries. As mentioned earlier, we will follow up via email with a recording session link. So once more, we want to thank these beautiful ladies or two beautiful speakers for today. Lovely to have you both. Thank you so much for joining us for today. And just a quick reminder for everyone, for our new agents, please make sure to register on the GUS Gateway portal in order to submit your student applications. For our existing agents, don't forget to continue submitting your applications. And if you haven't registered yet, kindly do so at your earliest convenience. Lastly, be sure to check out Concordia University of Chicago's social media pages created especially for international students by scanning the codes on your screen. I think it has been flashed earlier. After this one, we're going to provide you the link to our recording. So we want to thank everyone. Before we leave, do you have any parting words or anything else we'd like to share, Olivia and Monica, before we say goodbye?
Well, on my side, I think it's a great opportunity to apply to CUC. CUC has proved throughout the years it's not an EU institution on the international recruitment, and that the quality is high. The scholarships also very useful for many of our regions, and also offers quality. Right now, it is very valuable to have good education, and also it will mark and will shape what the future of your profession and career will look like, especially in the USA. And one thing I really like about CEC that it's very well thought in terms of if you're thinking on building a career in the United States, but also maybe you don't want to stay in the United States and you want to go back home, all the programs are super versatile. So if you go back home, you can definitely have an excellent career. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be on healthcare, as you saw. You can be in education, even in Christian education, which is very valuable, and not always you have that sometimes in the different regions. So CUC is definitely the best choice. And if you're interested in knowing more details, or you had doubts about any documents, if we were not able to maybe answer in detail the questions that even you posted here on the question box, we would love to connect back and have detail and step-by-step guidance into the process of CEC. I know that it's going to be that exciting time of your life. Chicago, I don't have to explain anything more about Chicago because it's Chicago. It's beautiful. You have everything you need, and CUC is the perfect choice if you're thinking to go into Chicago area.
That's beautiful. Actually, Chicago is really a beautiful city. So if you have the chance to go here, why not? So, Olivia, any last words you'd like to share?
Yeah, just I hope that you all enjoyed our presentation. I hope that you do choose to come to CUC. It's a beautiful campus, it's a beautiful choice. It will, continue to, stay with you for years to come, whether it's just your experience here or whether it is for your work experience, to help guide you further. And like Monica said, we're not like every other institution. We are, Lutheran based, so that's not something that you get everywhere that you may go. I feel like sometimes it is quality education rather than that quantity of, going to a bigger states, university with thousands of students. You're gonna get that more one-on-one kind of feeling here. Professors truly do care about you. They want you to succeed. They want you to do great in your life, to go further. And hopefully we can help you make that education degree possible for you.
Thank you so much, Olivia. Well, yeah, this is it. So, this is the end of our session. Thank you again so much for joining, everyone. See you on our next webinar. Have a great day, everyone.